All right, it's 7 o'clock. Do we want to get it started, or do we want to give another minute or two for people?
That's fine. We're ready to go, I think. I just was answering.
Somebody is going to be streaming it, right? So
yes.
You shouldn't have to worry about waiting.
All right, then. Hello and welcome. Here we are, getting ready to go into Book 2 of Lost Legends. I just want to start first apologizing. Yesterday we were supposed to have our meeting, but something came up and we couldn't. So thank you for your understanding and your patience. So I know a lot of people have a lot of questions involving what's going on for this book season, whatever you want to call it. We're calling it books. The reason we're calling it books is, everyone calls things seasons. A lot of people called it chapters. With the long as our seasons go, they're longer than a chapter. So we're calling them books. So yeah, this will be book 2. And it's pretty much going to be picking up, I'd say, about 6 months. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. After the last season. A lot of people, most people, have left the lands after the attack of the Deathclaw. So I know most of you are rolling in new characters. I do know that some of you are keeping your the same character. And that's great because it's actually someone that actually has a history of what's happened in the past. But anyway, we have a lot of things that are going to change along with rules and the general story. I'll say something real quick about the first book. The first book was not supposed to go the way that it did. We had a totally different mindset of how it was going to go. But one thing that we wanted to do right from the get-go is have you, the community, your characters, kind of dictate the story in a sense. Sure, we had a general idea of where we wanted to go, but how we got there was pretty much based on all of you. The Deathclaw, I'm going to admit right here, was not supposed to be the big baddie last season. So, but due to the choices made by the characters and everything and how much they grew in popularity, we decided to roll with the Deathclaw. And I'm kind of glad we did. It made for a very interesting story. It made for like the whole, they're the big baddie, they seem unbeatable, but they weren't at the end. The people of the land prevailed. So I thought that was very cool. It told a very amazing story. But the one thing we want to get and remain doing and get back to is telling all of your stories. A lot of you came to us early in the season just like, hey, I got this idea. Can the admins help me out? Yeah, we'd love that. So we want to continue to do that. But the main story, of course, we still have to have a main server story, and we do have that in mind. So we will be kind of following that. But again, depending on what happens with all the characters, that could possibly dictate the direction that we go. But I won't dwell on that too much. I'll let that kind of unfold on its own as the book progresses. So, things that we need to discuss. The admins have gone through and went through all of our rules that we had, and I'm sure many of you know they needed updated. They needed amended. And I think we kind of came up with a good solution to a lot of the questions people had about rules. So please, whenever you have free time, do read over the rules, see what the changes are. If you're all still on board for it, great. You know what I mean? But we're adding things. We took things away. Things that just didn't make sense for our server, and did a little bit more of an explanation of certain rules that there seemed to be gray areas in before. So yeah, whenever you get a chance, please go through and reread the rules. Because there's certain things that we did add. A lot of people were asking for lock picking and stuff like that. So we actually allowed that. But with it comes a set of rules. We're not just going to let people go around to anybody's place at any time and lockpick and steal their shit. It's got to have a real RP reason behind why you're breaking into their place. But okay, there are some other topics that came up that we dealt with last book, and we want to address again so that it doesn't become a problem. One thing that's always been a problem, and it's a problem everywhere, but name plating. Name plating is the bane of RP, if you ask me. You know, I mean, you go into the disguise, someone sees your name because it's floating above your head. Oh, hey, it's you. Well, you don't know that. People will go to people's houses. Oh, I know who lives here because that's their clan name. No, you shouldn't do that.
Can I interject?
You can.
This season, we are going to go and continue with the names off of buildings and whatnot. The ownerships will be turned off. We noticed a huge, let's say prior, we noticed a lot of people, there were a lot of tickets about people name plating items and whatnot, with us putting in lockpicking and allowing people to thieve and whatnot. We decided definitely to have it off because, well, you're going to see who the note owners are, right? So let's keep it mysterious. But again, your clues need to be, good enough that somebody could figure out that it's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you
once
don't
we
have
had
to.
it turned off, we did notice a lot less, and we received a lot less tickets regarding people name plating, people's new builds and whatnot, and the whole I'm being meta. Somebody stream sniping this, or somebody had to stream snipe that. Or they read the, they read the ownership that comes up. So we did notice a major decrease in that, which is why we're going to go ahead and turn it off.
Yeah. We don't want to take off the nameplates over people's heads. I would be so lost if we did. Certain people you kind of know, and you know what but as soon as they change their look, you're just like, So an easy fix for that, just don't nameplate each other. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, it's kind of on every roleplay server, but just don't do it. That's all we ask.
I do want to say a very loud perception rolls does not circumvent name plating. So when somebody's around a corner and you notice that they're there because you saw their nameplate, don't roll a perception roll because your character never saw them get there.
Or, if someone's on the other side of a solid wall and you see their nameplate through the wall, don't roll perception to, I heard something outside, just outside the building. I better go take a look.
Right, but did you even hear anything? If you did hear something, it'd be a totally different story, right? If you heard them run up.
Yeah, but there's a window open.
I would say it's even a little gray on that part because sometimes our Conan characters decide that a small hop is going to make them go, oh, and you're just like, you're just like, God fucking damn it. I literally hopped a small rock.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I know a lot of people will build and have no windows. To me, that's very smart because nobody should ever be hearing anything if you have no window. You know what I mean? It's not like people have super hearing and can hear through stone walls. So, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people just use the name plating and they can hear because Conan's audio is that way. There's a lot of things that we all know that we shouldn't be able to see or hear or anything like that. So, I mean, I just think as a community, we all do our best to promote good role play, and just not nameplate, or anything like that. So, I mean, it makes it a lot more interesting if you just play dumb to the situation, so to speak. If I see, for instance, let's say last season, Viserion's talking to someone, and I see Mocha's nameplate in a bush, but I can't see her. And I'm like, oh, Mocha, why are you in the bush? Well, how did I know that she was in the bush? She didn't make any noise. All I seen was a nameplate hovering above the bush. So, I mean, it's just like you play stupid. You kind of move on with your normal role play until they're either come out and like, here I am, or you just walk away and you didn't even know they were there. A lot of people are trying to do some sort of role play. And when people are nameplating them, that kind of ruins it. As a community, we're here to promote each other's role play as much as we are our own. So in order to make it a good thing, something great, we just help each other out in that sense. And if we're not nameplating, we're doing a great job. And that's where I stand on that one.
I mean, we get that mistakes happen. We've all done it. We've all been there.
Okay. Anyone else have anything else on nameplating? Good. Okay. The other thing we saw is the OOC in local chats. Again, that might not be a big deal to some, but it's immersion breaking for others. And we are a role play server. People are here to be role play with each other. So we shouldn't ever be going to OOC. If something's really OOC, you know what I mean? You can either find an RP reason or a way to say it in RP of why you have to go AFK. Or why you can't hear through your headphones or something. You could point to your ears. That's fine. That's a perfectly legit emote that you can just type out saying, hey, I can't hear you right now. My headphones are dead. When all you really said or all you really did was pointed to ears. That's fine. But to start saying, hey, AFK for dinner, AFK, I got to go to the bathroom. I mean, it's just, we don't need that in our chat. I mean, there's just no reason for it. It is immersion breaking. It might be petty for some for us to be saying it, but it is immersion breaking. Another thing is all this stuff that you type in your chats, we see. So as admins, we see everything. So we know when people are doing certain things. We're a voice server. Yes, you can use your emotes through the chats and stuff like that. That's perfectly fine. But we shouldn't also be talking really to each other without express permission to each other in the local chats. We're a voice server. There's plenty of text chats, servers out there. We are a voice one. We get sometimes there's extreme circumstances why we can't do this. That's fine. Let the admins know. They'll give you the okay to do it. If it's a valid reason why you have to type something out. But for the most part, stick with the mic, man. Stick with the mic.
A really good example of that was during the opening of the Drowned Cat, when literally everyone was there. And it wasn't just a matter of that's just a lot of voices, but some people's microphones are so much louder than others, and everyone's talking at once, whispering to your friend, I gotta go home, or whatever. It's understandable.
Yeah. Or you just walk away from everyone else. So
right.
You can actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
I had to do that. We understand. I mean, we get it. We get why people do it, but let's keep everyone immersed into this world. And not try to do anything that may break that. Smell RP is another thing. A lot of people, they've asked, well, I'm a werewolf. Can I smell them? No, you can. I mean, I get it makes sense for your character. Now, if you have express permission from the person you're wishing to smell, Like you talked in DMs and they're like, yeah, you could smell this, and okay, fine. But we've had issues where people were submitting tickets. Hey, this is smell RP. They shouldn't be able to do this, and they're right because we're not really allowing it. But I mean, so stick away from the smell RP unless you have express permission from the person that you're either tracking or smelling. Yeah, I mean, this has been listed in the rules since the beginning. You may not use smell RP to gain information. An example of this is smelling ale, where there typically is none, and using this information to decide that there's a drunken dwarf hiding nearby. Yeah, that's just not how we do it.
This area smells like wet mutt. There must be a werewolf nearby.
Yeah. You know, I mean, maybe in the real world, but not in this world. Let's see. Anyone else have anything to say so far? Good. All right. So we'll move on. Stream sniping. This is another thing that we got plenty of tickets about. And, you know, I'm going to be the first person to say that I love our streamers. I love that people want to stream our server. Being that there is a stream, you're always going to have that person that stream snipes. Oh, they're there? Well, hey, I'm going to go do this. And hey, I know this. Now that I've seen it on their stream, I have this information. No, you don't have that information. Your character does not. People are very guilty of it. Sometimes it might be accidental as far as information gained goes. But at the end of the day, just don't stream snipe. There's no need for it. I mean, if you really want to know something about people, then get on your character and go find those people and talk to them. If they want you to know that you may have learned in their stream, well, then they'll tell you. You know, but it's also, we got a lot of tickets on stream sniping, but without proof. And I'm going to tell you right here, there's not much an admin can do. If you have no proof and you're going to start saying that someone was stream sniping, well, that's great. But without proof, there's absolutely nothing that we can do about it. We're not going to hunt people down for it unless we get a report with evidence. That's the only way.
And I mean, I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't want to spend my time watching streams constantly, seeing if somebody is stream sniping. It is hard to prove.
We need timestamps.
Yeah. We also don't want to make our rules so strict to the point where we're going to say, hey, if you're in role playing, we don't want to catch you watching somebody stream, because you know what, we're here to support our streamers as well. We're here to support all of our community members. You know what I mean? So we don't want to do anything about that. We really don't. We don't want to get strict on it. So just try to be really conscious about it. There's nothing wrong with being in there, supporting your streamers, chilling out, having a good time with them at all. But be very conscious. If you are in game, please do not go over to where they are so you can get into their stream, especially if you don't have a reason for it.
I will also add on to it. If you want to support streamers while they're on the server, there is the whole concept of
why won't you listen to me?
You can have I would say have their stream up, but mute their stream entirely, be it through Twitch itself or through the tab. Because then you're not hearing things that they're hearing and then accidentally letting loose information that you've heard by accident on the stream, and then your character says it out loud. Even if that person is all the way in Timbuktu and you're like, I don't know, say at your home, probably halfway across the map from them. If you do want to support your fellow streamers and such, just do that. But as said, just make sure not to go near them intentionally. But if you do happen to run across them, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we all know that meta is very much frowned upon in RP, on any RP server, to be honest. And it's just a form of meta. So just kind of keep that in mind. Like I said, I love that people stream our server. I love watching it later on after I log off. You know, and I encourage people to continue to do so. But it's just, we've got plenty of reports of meta and stream sniping and everything else, and there's just really no need for it. We all know what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. It's just us actually doing it. So that's all I really have to say on that. I mean, we know what meta is. Just don't do it. It's not allowed on just about any roleplay server. Moving on. Another quick reminder, as we did mention this in our last meeting for last book, but heirlooming. It's not acceptable under any circumstance. A lot of people like to re-roll their classes, and that is fine. That's 100% fine as long as you take the proper channels. But don't pass your stuff off to your new character. It's just something that's illegal on many servers, including ours. Don't do it. Don't put a chest out with all your stuff in so your new character can go find it. Roleplay. Bring your new character in. He came in just like your old character came in. You know, you gotta find your way in this world. Whether it be on your own or you find a new group of people, whatever. Just really immerse yourself into every aspect that this server and the game allows you to. I mean, that's why we're here in the first place, to role play. And if you're heirlooming stuff, you're losing chances to do so.
The same goes for including information known by previous characters.
Yeah. We had quite a bit of that, too. I mean, someone would roll in a new character, and they knew everything their old character knew. You know, no, that you shouldn't. We also want to touch on people resizing their characters. You know, I get it. Excuse me. If you're a huge hulk of a man or woman and you can't get through a door, I get it. I've done it. But for the people that go big, small, big, small, big, small, within a matter of just a few minutes, there's no need for it. And it actually does bug things out on the server. So, I mean, we had an instance last year where someone's horse became taller than their house, you know, because of the resizing thing. So we just ask that people, if you're going to resize, you do it very, what's a good word for it? Sparingly.
Tactfully.
Yeah, tactfully.
Sparingly too.
You know, I mean, it's also very distracting. You're having a conversation with someone and they go from 3 feet to 7 feet, and then down to 5 feet, then back to 6 feet, and then back down to 4 feet. You know, while you're trying to talk to them, it's kind of distracting. So we just ask that you don't do it just willy-nilly. You know, do it as you need to. Sure, that's why we left it in there for everyone. But at the end of the day, just, I mean, kind of think about what you're doing.
At the end of the day, if we notice that it's still becoming an issue and it's being abused, we're going to end up locking the sizes. Is what's going to happen. Again, we don't want to do that. We really don't. We want to allow you guys to role play the way you want, do what you want. But again, there needs to be some respect to the rules.
Okay. Those were all older topics that we had from the previous book. Now we're going to move into some newer stuff. Being that we are an RP server, we do allow PvP to happen. Whether it be spars or whether it actually be a disagreement between two different parties and a fight actually breaking out. Hey, that can happen. That doesn't mean that we are a PvP server and you must partake. That does not mean that at all. If you choose not to partake in any kind of PvP, you do not have to. Don't ever feel that you are pressured to do so. We're an RP server first, but sometimes PvP happens because of it. Anyway, one thing we wanted to talk about, especially with PvP, is mob mentality. You know, you have a problem with a person, so you grab all your buddies and you're going to go confront him. Do you really need all your buddies to confront this person? Now, granted, if you're like standing there with your buddies and this one person attacks all of you, hey, fair game. But I mean, it's we don't want people having that mob mentality. You know, like you go start a fight with someone, they have words back at you, you leave, go get your friends, and now you're going to go kick their ass. Okay, that's mob mentality. We don't need everyone, and that's not just in PvP, that's even in just talking. You know, like in an argument, you don't need, if you're going to start an argument, you don't need 17 of your best friends there to back you up. You know what I mean? It's mob mentality. Have it out with, if you have a problem with someone, you have it out with them. You don't need all your friends to do it. That's just how it's done. And I don't care if people are there and stuff, but I mean, mob mentality can really hurt the population of a server when it happens a lot. And it hasn't really happened much with this server, and I'm very thankful for that. But I just really wanted to put it out there so it doesn't.
No, it has happened on this server.
It's happened, but not as bad as other servers, I will say. It's just not necessary. You know, if you're going to be able to start a fight, you should be able to finish it, either with words or with PvP. But that's just how it should be. If you're going to run your mouth, be prepared to back it up on your own. You don't need all your friends to back it up for you. Anyone else have anything to say about mob mentality?
Quite simply that there also needs to be an understanding that actions have consequences, personally. That's my opinion, though.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
I do believe that there is a disconnect sometimes between the actions that our characters do and the consequences that come from them. It's no slight against anyone in particular. It's something that I've experienced in many places over my many years of roleplay. People will play characters that aren't necessarily antagonistic, but are very outspoken and almost aggressively so. And the issue comes when, on an OOC level, people are surprised Pikachu face when people actually bite back, or grudges are formed icily, and then they're left sitting there like, well, I didn't mean for these consequences to come to be, so clearly something is wrong, or I've done something wrong, or they're doing something wrong, or this community is ass. It's something to consider when you're playing your character, that sometimes some people as characters will be rubbed the wrong way by how your character behaves or how they present themselves. And in a fantasy setting, there are characters that will dislike you just because of what you are. Like, there's characters that hate vampires because they're seen as an abomination. There's characters that hate the, devout and pious types because, they see them as a symbol of cold and uncaring lawfulness, and that they will, they'll be totalitarian in their perspective of being, divine and prosperous and whatnot. It happens. It's not an OOC slight unless you have confirmation that it is an OOC slight. So jumping to the conclusion that someone hates you on an OOC level, or that you as a person are being targeted because of who you are rather than what you've roleplayed, it bears credence to look into it. And if you're not sure, message them. And if that doesn't work, reach out to us and we'll form a mediated talk. We'll have a mediated meeting, and we'll come to a consensus on the matter. Much better than jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, I mean, we're all adults here. Let's be realistic. If you honestly feel that your role play that you're having with somebody else is going OOC, try to handle it yourself first by a DM to that person, whatever. Before getting admins involved, because once you get admins involved, now people also will look at that as an attack. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, they're thinking, well, I didn't think I did anything wrong. You know what I mean? And now we have admins involved in this. Try to deal with these things yourself first. If it's honestly affecting you in that way, please reach out to them. If they're unresponsive or if things go south from there, yes, by all means, come to the admins. We will form some sort of mediation between. But try to take care of those kind of problems yourself. That's all we ask. And don't speak for other people, please. If there's a problem, we had this plenty of times last season. It's just like, I'm sending you this ticket in this person's stead. And I mean, I get you want to be a good friend and such. We've had, I'm not kidding, at least 15 different times last season. It's just like, you know, it seems like you're the one that has more of the problem than the person you're talking about. So let them submit the ticket if it's truly affecting them. Don't be afraid to ever send in a ticket to an admin. What you send in is confidential unless you want it known. But I mean, don't be afraid. We're not going to judge you. We're going to look at your concern and we're going to do the best we can to get it resolved. Okay? I don't want you to think, you know, well, you know, these people, they're buddies or, you know, anything like that. Don't think that. If you have a concern, that is what we are here for. If you want to actually request a certain admin, feel free to do so if that makes you comfortable. But don't let it eat you up. I've seen this so many times, you know what I mean? And it's just like, well, I should have. I was going to submit a ticket a long time ago, but I never did. And it's just like, well, honestly, there's nobody else to blame but yourself there. I mean, we were here to help. Come to us if you need help.
I do want to say, just like you don't want people to believe that you are your character, the admins are not their characters as well. If you feel like, you know, you had an issue with an admin because of whatever character they were playing and it's all IC, we're not that character when we're acting as admin.
No. I very much separate the Pain Train from Viserion and from the Deathclaw. I am honestly neither. I care very much about this server and the community that's with it. So if it was ever something that I said, please bring it up to me. If you want to do it in a DM, you can. If you want to submit a ticket, you can. Don't ever be afraid to submit a ticket, is my point. No matter who it's about. I don't care. If it is an admin and you're kind of a little worried about submitting a ticket about an admin, you can DM an admin then. But other than that, any other requests, non-admin, please don't do it in DMs. Do it through the tickets. I know a lot of you are friends with a lot of us, and you request certain things and everything, but all requests must go through tickets. That way we have a paper trail. We know exactly who has what. We have it all on file. But anyway, getting back to what we were saying, I kind of got off there a little bit. Yeah, submit a ticket. If you have a problem with someone, submit a ticket. That's the best way we're ever going to be handling this. But originally when we started talking about this was also PvP and stuff like that. In mob mentality, we also wanted to touch on the kill on site rules. This is something else that came up a couple times. Here's what I think about kill on site. Kill on site should never happen. Should never happen. However, if you're playing an antagonistic character, your actions may have consequences. But that being said, we had a few instances with this last book. You do something to someone, or you say something to someone, or something. Just think about it that way. If you're playing antagonistic to where you're doing things that you shouldn't be to someone else, expect some kind of retaliation. However, that retaliation shouldn't start with just total PvP right off the bat. PvP has initiation rules, and those must occur. There should be no kill on sight unless that person has come to the admins and requested, hey, can I have kill on sight status? We had 2 instances of that last book, and it worked out pretty well. They wanted to be kill on sight just for what they were doing, and it worked out. So that's something else that we want to touch on. I mean, because I know we get a lot of antagonistic characters that join us, and I'm not going to tell you can't be, but expect consequences. If you're going to go make threats, if you're going to attack somebody doing something, expect it. Don't come crying to us afterwards that, oh, they attacked me as soon as because I just showed up at their place. Well, what did you do to them in the first place? So just remember, actions have consequences, but you shouldn't just see somebody out at the market, draw your sword and start attacking them either. Whether or not you feel that they should be kill on sight, because kill on sight should not be happening. PvP rules must be followed, and there has to be something said, something along the lines that, hey, you're here right now, you better leave, and you draw your sword, or this is going to happen. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you just don't come up behind someone and start hacking away. There has to be some kind of interaction. There has to be some sort of initiation. So that's something that we want to really drive home here, because, you might have an antagonistic character, you see him riding by, and then you're like, kill him. No, you can't do that. So as much as people may annoy you, people may get on your nerves or whatever, or they have threatened, please just follow the initiation rules. That's all we ask. If you warn them and they still keep going, they still just won't, then hey, all bets are off. You followed the rules. If you're not sure what all the rules are, please refer to the rules. It clearly states what you need to do.
Again, if you need some clarification, we're always around.
All right. So that's kill on sight. Now we're going to get into something a little more fun to talk about. This is where Gypsy is going to take over and talk about classes. Take it away.
This won't be too long, but it will be something rather fun to chat about. So, last season, we have had some classes that were both overperforming and underperforming. This has been taken into consideration. One such class that was underperforming by a rather large margin, it was one of the least selected classes, and overall the most rerolled from class, Survivalist. That has been removed. And instead, we have added 2 new classes to the lineup. The first of which will be, or one of which will be talked about by Graves, and one of which will be talked about by me. The one that I will be introducing will be Spellblade. Now, Spellblade will start off at the Mages Guild and will be the newest bruiser on terms of the lineup. Now, bruisers are a middle line hybrid between DPS and tank. They're tougher. They're more sustainable frontliners than your average DPS. but they cannot match damage necessarily on terms of the raw DPS classes. For example, Berserker. Berserker is a DPS through and through. There's no questioning that. The class itself will be mixing both spell weaving through injured spells and finesse fighting. So it is an agile, a little bit more of an agile class, not exactly a heavy plate sort of extreme, just soak up a bunch of hits like it's not nobody's business while trading blows sort of class. You are expected to dodge. You can take more hits, but don't act like you're a knight in full vitality gear just soaking into the front line. You're not going to get far with that. On terms of matching the damage of other classes, you are going to have to use your full toolkit. You will be having to use the spells that you are given in order to match the damage of other classes. If you do not, sorry to say, it's probably going to be hard for you to match them unless you are very lucky or very good at dodging. Beyond that, I will leave it a little vague. I want you to find out the spells for yourself and explore what you can do with the class itself. There are 2 builds that are viable in my opinion, which I will not elaborate on any further. I will let you all figure that out. Until then, I hope you enjoy. I'll be passing it over to Graves so they can talk about their class.
So, with the survivalist class being removed and these 2 new classes coming in, with the Mage Guild getting Spellblade, the Hunters Guild is gonna get themselves a new class, which is the Beastmaster. Now, the Beastmaster is, I will say, still a very much work in progress class. That is a class that will rely on having pets with them. There are certain pets that are allowed, and there are pets that will not be allowed, and I will touch up on those in a bit. To put it in a quick retrospective sort of view, your damage will mainly come from your pet. You have a special bond with your pet that you can only do it to ones that follow you, but that bond is something that can be broken very easily. The pets that have been banned as of right now, and possibly will be permanent, are Maligan, due to there being 2 attacks that are magic based that can even wipe out a knight within just 1 combo. There are the 2 elephants, the Ancient Elephant and the Scourge Mammoth. Multiple of their attacks can keep a player locked in place and can wipe them out. It has wiped out a Berserker easily, and it has wiped out a Spellblade easily, both having, I would say, a decent amount of health. Certain pet types that you will not be allowed to bond with are skeleton-based pets coming from base game or AOC, as well as the Zenaris pet. And I do believe I am missing one more that was banned. The Ancient Rhino being the same sort of point where it can knock you into place with certain attacks and can wipe you out within seconds.
Yeah, the grunts.
There's also the grunts. Yes, the Vanguard grunts will also be something that you cannot use as a Beastmaster, nor are you allowed to use the Frost Giants, as these skeletons and very much humanoid-looking constructs or monsters are not going to be classed as beasts. You do not work your way through training, raising animals just to turn around, just be like, I will go over here and I will work with this skeleton. I will bond with them. I have a special bond that will help me through my hunts or just through my day-to-day basis. Other than that, there isn't much to talk about the class. you personally aren't as strong as some classes, but you could be a little bit stronger than others. But it will just depend on how you play the class and how much fun you have with it and what things could come within the future.
Yeah. So as of right now, the Beastmaster is going to be the only class that you are allowed to have PvP with a pet with. We don't want to see berserkers running around with something too. You know what I mean? The Beastmaster, this is his specialty in PvP scenarios. Now, if it came down to like admin events and stuff like that, well then sure. I don't care at that point. But for the most part, this is the Beastmaster's deal. Everyone else, I mean, the Beastmaster himself is very, very, he's pretty weak. But his strength comes with his pet. So it's a very, very interesting class. I do like the class a lot. It has a lot of potential, and I'm sure some of you will find a way to make it even better. But you know, I mean, that's just our stance on it. All the other classes have their means of PvP or even PvE. That's fine. But the Beastmaster is going to be the one who fights with his pets, not so much the Beastmaster himself doing all the fighting. So that's how we want to kind of keep it. Additionally, in the server lore and more channel and Discord, we will be doing an update of all the classes. It will be all there for you to see. That way, before this book opens up, you'll have time to go through and say, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. So yeah, everything will be updated here soon. I think we already had an announcement about it, but I'm sure we can talk about it a bit more here. Beyond Stations being removed. One thing that we had a problem with last season book was min-maxing. So, I mean, and we get it, you know, some people just love to min-max, and I mean, but it's just a lot of people don't, and I don't see a reason to min-max for the most part. I have a point for it, I have a point against it. I mean, ultimately, we're a role-play server. We should be here to role-play, not destroy the entire world with how we're built. But we do very much accept that PvP is an important part. I mean, we are playing Conan after all. So we've taken a few measures to minimize the min-maxers. We're not saying you shouldn't build for your class, but we're just not going to be given the extra edge, so to speak. Because there's some people that are very creative with their min-maxing, and I just look at it and I shake my head. I'm just like, wow. But yeah. So, for instance, there will be no Skelos Vendor. Anything that's going to add a ton of attribute points to you, or attribute, yeah, we're taking that away. The way we look at it, the more we can keep everybody on a level playing ground, the less people have to worry about things, the less that we're going to get tickets about min-maxing, and the less that we have to interfere with anything. So Skelos, that is going to be gone, as well as the ultimate war paints. Those will now no longer be available. We're not saying that there won't ever be an item out there that may have some extra stat points for you on it, but it's not going to be as easily accessible as an ultimate war paint or items that you could get from Skelos. Beyond Stations was taken out because that just totally we could take out Skelos and we could take out the ultimate war paints and we put in Beyond Stations and we're still even worse off than what we were.
The bonuses are absolutely ridiculous.
It was just crazy. I mean,
Right.
it was literally insane the amount that the stat bonuses and armor and damage that you would get by using a vanilla thrall in these stations. And it's just like, no. It's just too crazy now. If people were upset with the min-maxing before, they are going to be livid this time. So, easy solution, we take it out. I know a lot of people really wanted those stations. Hell, I wanted those stations. I think just about all the admins wanted it, and most of you all wanted it. But at the end of the day, when we kind of look how it was going to start affecting things, we honestly had no real choice but to remove it. But that being said, what is it that we can use in its place, kind of, with vanilla benches and stuff? Is that from Shawnee's? Yes. There is something similar, we'll say, that you can do with Shawnee's that we are making available now with their benches and stuff like that. And you can do multiple things in that. I know people don't want to have these gigantic workshops and stuff. I get it. I myself don't mind them, but I get it. It's not for everybody. So hopefully with us allowing this part from Shawnee's in, that it will at least help bring down your workshop size. We were hoping that Beyond Stations was going to work, but sorry, it's just not. We are hoping one day they'll do a fix to it to where vanilla thralls do not affect it, and we'd bring it in. But from what we understand, the owner of the mod isn't planning on doing anything with it anytime soon. So
believe us, we really wanted it to work.
Yeah.
We like the idea of small workstations as well. Trust me.
I was all for this. When I seen this brought up in a suggestion a while back, I was all for it. I thought this was one of the greatest mods. And I knew a lot of people would love it. So I thought, yeah, we're definitely getting this one for the next for our next book. But
I will openly state that one of the main reasons as well why we got rid of it is because of these huge stat bonuses. I can tell you now, if you were to do a normal, let's say, how to put this in perspective. You have your Highborn Crescent chess piece. Say you were to make it with Lucia, it would go up to 550 armor rating. I could make the same chess piece with a tier 4 armor that would increase armor rating. And I have practically increased the armor rating by double. So it would be at 1,100 for the chess piece alone. It would have increased durability, less weight. But when you put the full set together, instead of having a plus 15, you are going to be having a plus 20 to that one stat. And that would go for every armor in AOC. Which runs along the lines of why it would cause min-maxing.
Yeah, so we're just trying to make everything as balanced as we possibly can. And so we just get rid of min-maxing as much as we can. And, I mean, that's just one less thing that admins have to worry about. And you as players have to worry less thing that you have to worry about. When you go into a fight, you can kind of see it as you're pretty much on even territory for the most part. If you're the same classes, you're built the same way or whatever, that's his skill at that point. So that's why we got rid of it, just so everybody has a full understanding. That's all the new topics. Is there anything that any of you else that you want to discuss that wasn't on the list?
I'm good here.
I'm fine. I think we should just go through the meeting questions, though.
Yeah, we'll just start going through the meeting questions. And all right,
I like this first one.
What was the original idea behind the first book?
Wayne,
Well,
please tell us.
I want to tell you, but I can't.
Can't.
Because now the original idea of the first book has now moved to the second book. So, yeah, I'd love to tell you that answer, but that would be a major spoiler. Okay, next. On the issue of nameplating, will the server be enabling roleplay Redux chat and enabling /act? This allows a player to act and change their displayed name.
This is something that we're going to be discussing further as admins, so we don't have an answer for you right yet on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I get why people would want to do it, but the constant of changing the names and stuff can become a problem. So it's something that we're just going to have to discuss. I mean, you guys can discuss it as well. We're happy to see it. But yeah, I honestly don't have an answer for you right now on that one. But like she said, we will look into it. Can the big baddie, this book, not be an apocalyptical sort of thing? A larger and more well-organized nation force is just as effective and makes it less awkward for how did you survive? Personally, just exhausted from if we do nothing, all is lost. With the lack of apocalyptical force, it gives the option for us to lose. If people weren't working together and what have you, we should lose. I've been on servers where we should have lost, but plot armor. Well, yes and no. The thing is, and I mean, the Deathclaw were never something that was totally unbeatable. They weren't an apocalyptical force, really. What they were trying to do would have been apocalyptical, I suppose. But it was just another army, is what it was. I want to do a lot of things. I mean, the big baddie, I mean, it's...
Careful.
I would
you
like
want to come out and talk.
I want to say so much.
It's so
hard. It's so hard. You know, there's all kinds of things. Yes and no is all I can really say to you. You know, I want this server to keep going after this book and so on and so on. And I mean, every book has to be different from the last. So I think to answer your question best, it's like, yes, there will be apocalyptical, and then no, there won't be. So, I mean, it's just got to always change. I mean, if you do the same thing over and over again, it gets stale. So I hope that kind of answers your question. I mean, I think you had the feeling with the Deathclaw that, hey, if we don't work together, we're going to lose. But in the end, everyone ended up working together. So, I mean, it actually worked out. How you feel about each other after, that's beside the point. But, yeah, I mean, I believe in trying to keep things as fresh as possible. At the end of the day, some people love the apocalyptic stuff. Some people don't. Some people love doing large-scale battles and stuff with armies. Some people don't. You know what I mean? It's all personal taste. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. So, and like I said, I plan on having this server going for a while. As long as we have community that keeps coming back, we're going to keep going. So,
can I add something?
You can.
For those of you that arrived around the tail end of the season when the Deathclaw attacks became rather common, I will say that was not always the way that things were. That was because due to the Conan update and how long the server was up and running, we did have to sort of escalate towards a season's end so we can, hit the reset button, stabilize the systems, and get things running to the new patch. But through all that, I do feel like there was an impression that what we primarily focus on is an admin story or an admin threat story. We actually have a lot of love towards supporting and uplifting player stories. So I know on my side especially, I'm very much looking forward to working with you all to help support and enrich the player stories that you all are looking forward to telling in the future. So that's something to look forward to.
And to kind of expand on that, Payne has said this time and time again, and not everyone has always been present to hear it, but what players do in the server does make an impact on the world. And in this particular scenario, I was part of it, did take some drastic actions against the Deathclaw, which kind of stirred up this tornado of insanity, right? So there was always the possibility that this was never going to be as big and scary as it had been. So keeping in mind what you do as a character in the world is definitely a key to knowing, or not knowing, but handling the circumstances of, is this going to be apocalyptical or not?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have a game plan for this season, but I had a game plan for the last one, and it totally changed. I mean, just with how roleplay was going, I ended up calling an audible on it and totally just scrapping everything that I had planned and moved in a different direction. And that was all because of the players and the actions that they took.
I actually remember that. Fun fact, we actually had to have a meeting get together because the player roleplay had so starkly shifted the entire path of the server story that we had to sit down and actually go, okay, let's review the past 2 weeks and actually figure out what's been going on and what the player base is pushing towards and readapt our plans to go from there. So that's how much of an impact you all make. We actually have sit downs and recaps to readjust and accommodate all of you. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, I'm not saying, every action you do is going to have some major shifting consequence to the server. But that being said, choices that we presented to you, or it wasn't really even a choice at the time, it was just something that happened. And how you, the people, reacted to it really dictated, the direction that we were actually going. I mean, I was just like, wow, okay, well, now I guess we should do this. And it was just being spontaneous with that. I think it allowed for the server to have that spontaneous kind of feel at the time, especially. I know as the Deathclaw eventually took over the story, it wasn't as spontaneous. But at that point, like was said earlier, I mean, we had that major Conan update. The server was really starting to chug, and we were feeling it. You know what I mean? It was starting to struggle on certain times. So it was very apparent to us at that point. We had already been open for over 3.5 months at the time. And it's just like, we got to do something before this server dies on us. So we had to kind of push the Deathclaw story a little bit faster than I would have liked to, but still, I think it all still worked out really, really well. And that's a lot because of all of you coming together, and those who stuck around and fought the Deathclaw. I applaud you. I mean, I thought that last battle was freaking amazing. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we can say, oh, well, this was all an admin event. Yeah, it was. But at the same time, it was the players that got us there. It was the players that did the planning, So I'll be totally honest with you. I never really wanted Viserion in a leadership role because I was the Deathclaw. But that being said, he was kind of voted for it. And so I had to play the character of Viserion too. Viserion loved power. So it was very hard for me, to play all these different things. So that's why this time, no Viserion. But that being said, it was all the players that actually made it happen. How big of a scale of a battle was all depending on how many people were there. It was you guys that built the fortresses and stuff for us. It was all of you that came together to have these meetings. You know what I mean? And I really loved the role play that came out of all this. You guys did some pretty amazing stuff. But that being said, I'd really like to get back into more of helping you tell your story within reason. And we got some pretty outlandish requests last year and or last book. And it's just like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. You know, how do we even make something like this happen? You know, but whatever we can do, if we can make something better for your story to come to more light, then beautiful. I'm loving working with you guys. I've got to work with quite a few of you in the last book, and I really want to continue it. But that being said, I can kind of tell you it's not going to be anything like last season, but depending on how all of your role play and decisions go, I can't tell you how it's going to go because I don't even know. All right, next question. When the last battle was starting, we saw semi-in-character and semi-meta info announced for the event in-game. I don't think we saw that stuff for the other fights, as most of them were provided by Bird through Discord announcements. Is it worth announcing admin events more regularly in-game, or is there just too much meta? No, I want a lot of people involved in the admin events, obviously, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. A lot of the times that these events broke out, they weren't really supposed to. I know a lot of times it was just one of us running around on a Deathclaw, and then they'd be seen, and then a small skirmish started, and because of that small skirmish, a big epic battle started. You know, so I mean, it wasn't anything that would have been announced because it wasn't supposed to be anything in the first place. But when we did, I know early on, we had an event that happened at Shadow's Embrace because of Raz. And we did do a server announcement for that. And then, of course, we did it for the final battle. But, yeah, I mean, I think as more and more, if we get back into what we wanted to originally be, you're going to see a lot more of those things. That way, more people can get involved. And I'm going to be honest, not all the events are going to be like a PvP fight event. You know, there might be just random things. I think there was... For October, we did the Witch's Maze and stuff, and I think we put an announcement out for that, did we not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there was some other non-fighting and non-combat events. If we feel that this is going to be something that the whole server should try to join and enjoy, sure, we will put out an announcement. But like a lot of those other battles that we had and stuff, those other fights, they weren't supposed to be anything major in the first place. So it just worked out that way.
I mean, the very first time Shadow's Embrace got blew up, nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about it whatsoever. I literally went to the bar, and it was way too overstimulating for me. I had to leave because I myself, as Shira, couldn't handle it. I was like, oh, the hell with this, I'm leaving. I made up an RP excuse of why I had to leave. I left, and I'm like, shit, I'm bored because everybody's over there. So what am I going to do? I said, okay, what the hell is it? I'm going to bring out Deathclaw. And I kind of stirred the pot. Poor Viserion, nobody at Shadow's Embrace knew. None of the other admins really knew what my plan was. I just kind of did it.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it. It's Deathclaw. Deathclaw's my baby, and I didn't even know about this event.
All we can say about that is kaboom.
Yeah.
If I could interject real quick, there is something I do think that should be covered that I think we forgot to make mention of. On the topic of us supporting player stories, you know, as some people are aware, you put in a ticket, you know, if you have an event idea for your group or something of the sort, or for the whole server for that matter. We are open to that. However, if there is something that requires admin intervention for scene conveyance or, you know, playing of NPCs or anything of the sort, please don't do it the day of or the day before. Don't make a ticket saying like, you know, we're in the middle of a role play right now and magic is happening and we need you guys to make some magical portals and do a spooky ethereal voice for us. And we're just like, okay, well, when would you like for this to happen? Right now. No. That's a no. And it's not to be rude against your role play. It's the fact that we might be doing other things. We might be busy IRL. There might be no one available at the time. So all I'm asking is that you keep that in mind, that, we're people too. We're not always available at all hours. We need time to prepare. And the more time you give us to prepare, the more we can make it special for you. So let us make it special for you, and let us make it something that is memorable and worthwhile. The more time we have to, make use of our time and prepare, the more we can make it something special for you and your own.
We'll probably
That's
say
all.
give us like a day or two, maybe 3 sort of 3-day length warning.
Yeah,
So-
the more time you can give us, the more we can discuss this as admins of what we can do. We're not feeling rushed into helping you do something. It's like, okay, well, these people want to asking if we can do this and this. What if we added this and this to it and made it very epic? You know what I mean? And a lot of times we'll send a DM back, or if it's a ticket rather, and just say, hey, we got some ideas as well, if that's cool with you. And they're like, yeah, do it. But I mean, give us time. That's it. I mean, you got to remember, we are not just dealing with your story. We're dealing with other people's stories, and we're also dealing with whitelist tickets, and we're also dealing with problems that other people are having on the server. So this kind of gives us a little time to prioritize everything. So the more time that you can give us, hey, feel free. Throw it at us. I know we got a couple things last book that people came up with some amazing ideas and wanted to know if they could even do anything with this and do anything with that. And would it be possible to have a Deathclaw show up here? Or, you know what I mean? It was all great stuff. And I mean, it was just like, I was more than happy to help out with this stuff because they gave me time to do it. It wasn't just like, hey, in about 15 minutes, we're going to do this thing. You want to come over here and do this? Well, no, I don't. You know what I mean? I'm already probably doing something else. So the more time you can give us, boom, please do it. Okay, next question. In regards to try to sort out your beef in DMs first. If the conflict is with someone who is otherwise blocked from communication, so we skip to the ticket. Well, in that case, yes. If you can't talk to them, if you honestly feel there's a problem, then we can open a ticket and drag someone into the ticket so we can talk to them. Request that there's some sort of mediation between the parties. Yeah. If you cannot get through to them, by all means, submit a ticket. Let us know. As an addition to this, will there be a channel in the Discord for the announcements that would be seen in the game? Many of us aren't able to spend all of our time in game or on the server, but still want to be involved with the story as we can. Yeah, when we typically make an announcement in the game or on the server, we also do it in the announcements or world updates.
We missed it a few times.
Huh?
We missed it a few times.
Yeah, I mean, we would normally post it in our announcements as well. Something like that. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, by all means, we do miss it from time to time, because not only are we trying to tell the story, we're also preparing for whatever this event is typically usually going to be. So sometimes things do fall through the cracks. I apologize, but it's just the nature of it at times. But yeah, for the most part, we will be putting it in the announcements as well. Are there any changes to races? Book 2 opening date? Graves, I'll let you handle the races thing, because I am not sure what the final thing was on the races thing that you were talking about.
So there's not exactly a change of races, but I'll just say it now. We have had previous season where people have played a type of character, like how do we put it? All I say is there is a new race. Yes, it is known as Beastkin. So these are for people who I will say want to play as. What's one of the characters? My brain. I'm trying to think of an example here. Yes, Nimbus. Nimbus being someone who was able to go into a bipedal, so a quadruped form of an animal, without using. They had a special agreement. I will say that now with the admin team, to use only quadruped in replacement of the bipedal form of the lichen. As at the time, the were creature was the only race that would allow a transformation. Beastkin is the replacement of that. So you can have a quadruped form and easily be able to use it without having to go a race that you have to go in with a special agreement with the admins. It's a new class I keep saying class. It's a new race that I think will definitely help players and will definitely put a lot less work on admins. So I do hope players who do play Beastkin type characters will enjoy this race quite a bit. But small details of that race will be on the server lore and info when it is updated, probably after this meeting.
All that should be coming soon. You should be able to see everything races. I don't think we're making very many changes to races, but races are pretty much going to stay the same. We are looking at updating some of the classes and stuff like that, though, in addition to adding classes. Has there been a rework to Dark Paladin? Go ahead, Gypsy.
Okay, well, I mean, Payne, you also can have input on this as well because you and I were the two people that were extensively testing that class rather deeply. We have worked on Dark Paladin. We put it through the ringer. We statted it up, both non-min-maxed and min-maxed, just to see like just how much value people can squeeze out of it. I hate to say it because I know there are a lot of people that would disagree, but it is in equal standing with some of the more popular classes. A properly played Dark Paladin can absolutely stomp a Berserker. It is without a doubt. The fact of the matter is that the Paladin and Dark Paladin are classes that rely on their toolkit. It's not a class that you can just, plug in and just play like a vanilla class. You have to use the Indrid's tools that you are given in order to stand on equal footing with other classes. It is a class that squeezes out the full value of wearing heavy armor because it has armor specialization. You want to use it. You want to use heavy armor so you can negate some of the damage and even shrug off some blows entirely. You want to put high strength because that is your damage scaler, and your smite scales off of your base damage. So the higher your base damage, the harder your smite's going to hit. So you get a big, scary two-hander weapon that scales your strength. You get your strength armor on, your strength heavy armor on. You hit someone with a smite. Guess what? That berserker that's had you on the ropes is suddenly flinching and going, oh God, oh shit, ow, that hurt really fucking badly. You have to keep that in mind. So I will say, yes, we did do extensive testing on it, and we have come through with the decision that it is actually in a pretty damn good. It's in a good place. It's in a good place. Trust us. Just if you don't know about it, give it a try. Maybe experiment with your build a little bit. You'll find that it actually works if you use the tools.
Yeah, I can attest that Dark Paladin is in a very damn good place right now.
could also be how you build to the class as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing, guys. A lot of the tickets we got, it's just like, oh, this class sucks. It doesn't do any damage, and it's just like, well, how did you build? And when we look at it, and we try to talk to people, it's just like, you're not really built for how the class is made to be used. And granted, this is a role play server. You trait the way you want to do it. I'm not going to tell you that any way is wrong if that's the way you want to do it. But there is definitely, I'm of the mind that you should always select your attributes the way your class is meant to be, to give you the best experience with your class, when you get the most out of your class that way. So, I mean, if you need help, I mean, I'm fine. I'm sure we're all fine with helping you. But I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think, with most of them. I think even with, we'll make sure that everything is updated in server lore and more, but we'll have the main attributes that you should be really paying attention to. And that's because if you use those, you're going to get the most out of your class. I wouldn't look at it now because it needs to be updated, but I mean, that will be updated very, very soon. Okay. So here's my question. Are you going to allow people to have items for aesthetic value from the Skelos vendor? Lots of that stuff has a unique look. Here's the problem, and it's one of the reasons that we don't, as admins, give out armor or weapons as transmogs, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Cosmetics.
Cosmetic, thank you. And I mean, we don't typically give them out, so because then we're giving it out for you, and then we find that someone's using them, and now we got to take it away. I mean, it's just, we've added so many different things that's going to help you complete your look. I don't think you really need Skelos vendor stuff. I know some of it's very cool, but I'm sure we can all do without it. I mean, it's just, a lot of people want things. I get it, and you want that one certain cape, or you want this, or you want that. I get it. But, if we start handing out stuff for one, we got to start handing it out to all. And at the end of the day, when you start doing that, people start using things they shouldn't be using. So with that in mind, no, we're not giving out Skelos stuff. Unless, hey, I did say it earlier too. I'm not saying nothing won't ever make an appearance. I'll leave it at that. When can we enter the server?
That is something that we are still working on. We do have things to work on the server.
Guys, we
see the finish line.
We see it
there.
It is. I mean, it is within our reach.
I mean this as a joke. We're opening in, I don't know, let's say 2077. We'll see you all in the cyberpunk era, people.
Cyberpunk has unleashed their survival roleplay mode. We are now moving to Cyberpunk 2077 for our roleplay.
But yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Right now, we'll say Thursday, the server will open. Guaranteed. I just said it. The server will be open.
Guarantee.
I know, I hate doing it too, and I just did it, and I fucked up. But hey, Thursday will be open. I know a lot of people wanted it this weekend. Hey, I wanted it this weekend. Just didn't work out that way. Thursday, it will be open. And that's just because we want everything to be 100% working for all of you. We want everything to go smoothly. We are so close. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you with what we're doing right now. We're testing. Once we get all that done, we're ready to go pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Celestial is the current race, right? So yes,
Yes.
divine being.
We are never getting rid of the divine race, nor will we ever get rid of other races unless we find a reason, which will never happen.
I can do without divine beings. Anyway, yes, divine beings are there. Would it be possible to launch the server at a time earlier than 7 p.m. Eastern? Having a server launch in the afternoon would be much appreciated for us European players. Wink, wink. I'm sure it would.
We'll
Problem
open it.
is the availability of admins to assist.
That's just it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Some of us work. We want the admins. We don't want it to fall on one or two people to, handle the rush of people trying to get in the server at once. I get your concern. I understand. I appreciate your concern, but at the same time, we are a small team, and we need to just have each other when it comes to this kind of stuff happening at once. I don't know the exact time, but we will do our best to put it out at a time that's good for everyone, or as many people as possible. Can my RP be the main story? Thank you. No. Have you all had a lovely day? Now, yes. Earlier, no.
I can speak for me and Shira with one word of peachy. And that's about it. For the other two, no idea.
On the topic of transmogs and things, being someone who has been RPing since the Hyborian age and has had to, has had to keep things hidden and keep people from having them. Is there not an option for the special treatment for people who have been proven that they aren't a problem with certain items? I get if I give it to this person, I have to give it to everyone mentality, but there are people who can have things and it's never a problem. And there are people who cannot pour water out of a bucket with instructions on the bottom. I get it. I understand. And, as a player on someone else's server, it's easy for me to jump on that bandwagon with you. And I hope no one really takes this as an attack on anybody, but history shows all the time. I mean, you can't 100. I mean, I'm of this mind. If I'm giving it to one person, I got to make it available to everyone. I know, hey, he's a swell guy. He's never going to do that. But all that has to happen is word get out that I did that for him and I didn't do it for another. And now what kind of person am I?
And then this person favors this one. There's favoritism here. There's favoritism there. We don't favor anybody more than each other. We really do like you guys quite a bit. So again, I mean, I know where I've come from. I've had to, just for a magic circle, just one of the regular SVS magic circles, write a very, very detailed story on why I needed a magic circle. And I had to have the admin at that event, present at that event while I was doing it, which not only made me shit my pants even more because I don't typically play magical type characters, but I was doing a little bit of a ritual and I needed that thing. And oh my God, it was a pain in the ass to get it, only to hear that somebody else got it just because they asked. I'm like, shit, must be nice. I mean, I literally had to write a very, very detailed thing. So I don't want to bring that here. You know what I mean? I don't want people to feel that way that we're actually favoring somebody, or, you know, that we don't like this person, so they're not going to get this or they're not going to get that.
Yeah. So on that, yeah, we just kind of whatever. You know, I mean, we just, what's good for one is good for all. What's not good for one is also not good for all. That's just how we're just going to play it. That way, no one can play the favoritism card with us or anything like that. Everybody is equal here. Are you aware of the other major RP communities launching much anticipated servers and community events next Friday, as in the 11th? Nope. I am not.
I am not in any other Discord except for mod Discords at this point in time.
You know,
to be
I
quite
mean,
honest, we wanted to open up today. We really did. But we had a lot of kinks that we needed to work out. We had a few more things that we needed to test, which is why we pushed it back.
Yeah.
Another week, unfortunately. And I mean, that's being very open and honest with you guys right there.
I'll be completely honest, preferably we would have opened sooner. You know, we're not the first to open up for our new season by a long shot. So we're not trying to make it any longer. We're not trying to make it well, I mean, obviously we're trying to make it sooner, but the whole fact of the matter is that we have no idea what other servers are doing. It is what it is. We're just trying to get this out as soon as we can for you all in a stable state so we can all get our stories going.
Also, furthermore, we have no incentive to follow
Or compete with other servers.
To compete, but also follow the cycles of other servers' seasons, because other server seasons are so short. It's almost like rapid fire from what I've seen in my experience. We're gonna be live a whole hell of a lot longer, so if you want to go play somewhere and then come back, it's fine. Or if you want to play both, it's fine. Like, we're not going to tell you can't.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, I don't really care what other people are doing, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, we have a decent following here.
So mean.
Well, I don't mean it in a mean way either. You know what I mean? But I'm not coming up with better words is what it boils down to. It's not that I don't care about other people. I'm more focused on what our server's doing and just doing what I feel is best for our server. That's simple as that. You know what I mean? What other people are doing, that's their business. And while I can respect what other people are doing, great. You know, I mean, I myself, I mean, I don't really do any other kind of a different game. You know, in Conan, hey, I'm all about promoting Conan roleplay. And in my opinion, in order to do that, you need multiple things going on, because what's good on one server might not be good for someone else. And so I'm all about just promoting Conan roleplay. You know, I never expected, and I'm going to be very bare and honest with you here, I never expected our server to take off. Not the way it did. You know, when we started, I was thinking, yeah, maybe we'll get like 20 people, maybe 25. You know, fast forward another month and we have over 80, you know, and I'm just shitting my pants, literally.
I mean, he was literally shitting.
No, man. I mean, I had to move my computer into the bathroom. No, I mean, seriously, and that's all thanks to you guys. I mean, you guys made this amazing. I never expected us to do anything like we did. And that's all due to all of you. So I am very thankful to all of you. I am very thankful for my admins, and a very, very special thank you to Shira, who devotes her life practically to this server. Everything that we have, that's her. That honestly is. And I mean, she's the backbone of this whole server. I'm not being.
Yes, dear, you're getting lucky. That's good enough. Let's move on to the next topic.
All right, let's say actually, I will be the not biased one, but also kind of biased, but not biased. No, he's fucking right. Okay.
Yeah.
I will quickly add on with the length of servers. The length of our seasons are actually dependent on the players. All of you are what tell us admins how long is the season going to go on for. Because the more it's active, the longer the season will go on with more events, more fun for players to have.
Yeah, and how the server is actually doing. Is it running good? You know, are we starting to get concerned that we might have to start doing something here because the server might not last? The server's been very stable. I will say that. We had a couple scares with it, but that being said, it held up through everything. That last day with that final battle, I was just like, at any moment with everything that's going on, I'm expecting this to server just pop and go. I'm just like, let's just get through this. Please just let us get through this battle. Please let us get through it.
Let's take a moment to actually just appreciate the fact that we not only got through a Conan patch, we also managed to get ourselves through a mod going completely just defunct and having to remove it from the lineup and the server not exploding in the process. That luck was on our side. Luck was on our side. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and
it favored us.
Again, that it was a lot of Shira working to make sure that the server was stable. So, again, I mean, I can't thank anybody enough. The community, the admins, Shira. I can't thank anybody enough because, I mean, it's because of all of us, all of you, that this server became what it is and hopefully remains to be.
With all those scary moments, just blame Pain.
Yeah, Pain's I don't care. Blame the shit out of me. I don't care. I'm right here. But I believe that's pretty much it. Why would LL be concerned with what other servers are doing? Just focus on LL, right? Yeah.
That's
exactly.
Well, you don't have to just focus on LL. I mean, we focus on LL, but I mean, you guys are more than welcome to go out and play wherever the heck you want.
Yeah.
You are not required to play here and here only. I want to get that right out there. Changing up the games can be good.
And all things considered, we wish all the other communities well. We have no ill will against any of them.
No, we had quite a few of them when they had downtime. They came here. You know what I mean? So I can't say I did the same because I was typically busy on this server. So, I mean, it's just we had lots to do.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. It's a requirement that you play here and here alone. That whitelist is a signed agreement.
Get out of here.
No, you didn't see the exclusivity clause and the fine print. I'm sorry, but you can't play anywhere else. Also, all of their games are wiped from your Steam library. Only Conan now. Oh, come on.
Yeah, we need to get you guys into the 10,000s of hours of playing Conan.
I hate you guys.
We no longer allow the playing of D&D.
Excuse me?
Hold on. Wait Excuse me.
We need to get you guys. Yeah, we need to.
Is it true that Larry's ass is one of the biggest cause of lag on the server? That is 100% true. True.
So with the quote unquote storms coming in, that was Larry jumping.
Yes.
It wasn't a storm, it was a massive earthquake.
Hey, take solace in during this time in between books. We have him on a rigorous training schedule. That ass is starting to shrink.
We've got him on squats constantly.
Don't let him know that I've been eating all of the pastries in the pastry bin.
Is it true that Viserion had the tightest pants? That's a given, man. No one could get any tighter than Viserion.
You don't need blood circulation when you're a vampire.
No one can get tighter than Viserion.
That's right. His pants, of course.
I'm going to let you consider your wording on that one, buddy.
All right. We're kind of going off on crazy shit now. That is, we will now, yes, addicted. You are 100%. Yes, we are done. Thank you all for coming. We will be there and opening our doors on Thursday. The time we will post in the announcements. But it will probably be, being that I work that day, a little bit later in the afternoon. I can tell you that much. So sorry, Luna, but that's just how it has to be.
I will.
right.
I will say if you do have any more questions within like in an hour or so's time, you're not sure if you should put it as a suggestion, feel free just to put in a ticket and we'll gladly answer it.
Yeah, not a problem. So from that point on, yeah, by all means, just
No matter how small, sorry for interrupting, no matter how small the thing is that you want to say or question, if don't think to yourself, oh, I don't want to waste their time with the ticket. In fact, you are saving us time and energy by making a ticket.
I am East Coast, Eastern time zone. So
Mhm.
to answer that question. Okay, that's it. Take care, all. We'll see you soon. And thanks for coming.
We love your faces.
Of all of you. Looking forward to tell some more stories with all of you.
All right, we got some crabby kids to put to bed.
Kiddos! All right. I'll be out.
Yes.
Goodbye.